Welcome back, YouTube, to another video. Today we're here with this Ram 1500. We're gonna do lower control arms. So this gives you a new spring isolator, new ball joint, and new bushings. It's all one package. You don't have to do ball joint presses or none of that. So I'm gonna take you through step by step. Hopefully this helps you save a bunch of money. Share, subscribe, put a bunch of comments down below, help me out with this algorithm, and let's get into it. The front driver's side is RK 623101. Front passenger side RK 623100. The top of this has a flat spot on the shock. I haven't found a wrench that holds it good, so I use some vice grips. Then we need a 19 mil for the nut. So then we hold one and turn the nut, and it will obviously take the nut off, and then at some point you'll have to remove it. Otherwise, this just spins the whole shock. Now you could try to grab it down here and use an impact up there. That might work. But regardless, you need a 19 mil and something to hold the top or hold the shaft. This is going in the garbage anyway, so if you have an open shaft style, grab that bitch with vice grips and then impact the top. It doesn't really matter. Just get it off. You're going to take a 13 millimeter. You're going to remove these two bolts here and then slide the shock out through this hole that's in the control arm. So you're going to use a 15 or 16 millimeter on the top and a 15 millimeter here to hold the shank. You're going to remove this top nut on both sides. Then we can swing up the sway bar up and out of the way. Use a 24 millimeter and get the ball joint nut loosened. The spring compressor you're going to need is a 57035 from AutoZone. You can rent it and get your money back when you're done. You're going to slide it in through this bottom hole. You're going to hook the top spring part here. Then you're going to slide through this piece and then tighten it down through here. Get my finger, see here? So you put the socket and extension through the bottom here, tighten it down and compress it. This one was a pain in my butt. It slipped off like 50 times. Anyways, you want it to where the spring down here is off the rubber. You see that? And then now we can get on to removing the rest of this. We need to break this ball joint loose first. All right, so you're gonna jam a pry bar in here. You're gonna pull, and then you're gonna tap here. Well, this one's pretty loose. The other one, I had to actually use my torch, heat this all up, and then once I heated it up, I put some PB Blaster penetrating oil, and then I pulled up and whacked it, and it came loose finally. Now we can take this nut off, and then we can remove the bolts from the back of the A-arm. Take a 24 millimeter wrench. You're just going to hold this from moving. You're going to come over here. There's a 24 millimeter nut there. Spray it all with penetrating oil. Now remove the nut. This washer, adjustable washer deal on both of these. Support the control arm. Now we can pull these bolts the rest of the way out. So pull this one out and pull this one out, and then slowly let down the control arm, and then because it's going to bring the spring and this is going to come in, and it's all sort of going to fall down in one piece. Actually, it's better to support both parts of the A-arm, otherwise the bolts are going to be really hard to get out. And now we can lower it. It's going to be easier and easier, and then you're going to have to reach in and grab the spring with one arm and then pull it out and set it on the floor until we go to put it back together. Spring's out. The only thing holding it in is the ball joint, but the ball joint's loose, so you're just going to pick it up by here and lift the ball joint out of this spindle here and throw it in the garbage. Slide the new control arm in, and then this one is a 24mm nut. Run that in and tighten it down as much as you can right now. Get the control arm prepped with the jacks. Now we're going to stick the spring back in. You want the bottom piece here, this is cut off. This is the center on the inside of the car. So here's a hole. That cutoff should be right here in the center. And then the top rubber piece here has to fit inside of this guy here. See that? So I'm gonna put it in, slowly wind this up. At the same time, this thing's on a massive angle. We have to be pushing the control arm towards the outside of the car and then scoot everything slowly until it's lined up. Then we can use pry bars and stuff later. So I'm jacking up that pocket, lining up that top piece, and then I'm jacking it up on the corner here. And the first one I'm going to get in place is this one. Just going to jam the bolt in. Even if it doesn't stick out the other side, just get it started. And then same thing with this guy here. Just going to slowly raise it up little by little. You want to go back and forth because of the way that this stuff's set up. So almost there. But anyways, jack it up, slide it in. As I'm jacking this side up, it's helping line this hole up. So as soon as it looks like it'll go through, just do that. Then we come over here, and this one's not quite there yet. So I need to jack it up a little bit more. And then I should be able to come over here, get it in, get it like that. Now we can turn it and it will push the control arm in and out. So we're done with these jacks. We can get rid of these jacks. And we're gonna match this one to this one. So it's pointed down with the dot. So this one's already matching. But if it wasn't, you could slide it in, turn it with the 24mm wrench, then hold it. And now we got to go get the washer part and the nut and put it on this side. And you're going to do that to both of these. This one too. Same steps. You're going to match it, install. Make sure now that you have all the contact, that you have this guy torqued down. Just double check your steering. And we can do the end links. And at this point, we need to get the spring compressor out because it's no longer needed. The spring is in where it's supposed to be. So loosen that all the way and remove that. Put these two back in. You need to make sure the top piece goes through the hole, obviously. Put these in. Tighten them down by hand. You don't want them too tight. I don't really use torque specs. If you want to look it up, go ahead. But I did it to what I would think would be roughly 30-35 foot-pounds, roughly. Somewhere in that general area. But, you know, when it's tight, it's tight. Don't try to snap the bolt, that's all. So I have to put in the bushing in the washer. Look, there's no meat. So I lowered it to the ground. Back tires are touching the ground. And we're going to jack up the control arm until there's thread sticking out. And then we're going to tighten it down. Tighten this down. Just make sure that it's not rotating a whole bunch down here. If it is, you have to hold it up here. There's no real way to hold the bottom. So we're going to have to hold it here. Once it bottoms out and everything feels nice and tight, the shock's not wiggling or anything, then that's all there is to it. You should have a bulge on this. It shouldn't look flat like this. It should be bulged out. And then you know it's all compressed. There it is, all nice and tight. Hopefully this video helped you save a bunch of money and let you do it yourself. Come back, subscribe, check out all my other videos. Till next time, wrench on.